And we're back. This is part 3 of episode 8. In this video, I will be talking about how to measure the value of the engagement you are receiving. And this is on your digital marketing platforms. And the reason I am more focused on measuring the value of the engagement is because engagement metrics don't mean anything unless you can assign some value to it. And how do you go about this? So obviously the value of engagement will differ for everyone. Some people view engagement very differently from the way others do. So whatever I'll explain here is more generic because I want everyone to assign their own value to engagement. But what I'll do is I'll give you a guide on how to get there or how to know that this is valuable engagement to me. So there's 4 points and I'll start with the first one, and that is, what is your end goal? What is your objective as a business, as a brand, as marketers? What is your objective? Why do we need to start with objective? Because before you get to the point where you're expecting engagement, there has to be an end goal in mind. Ideally, you shouldn't be just searching for engagement for the sake of having numbers on a report to go and present and your job is done. This engagement that you're generating should mean something, and it should be tied to your end goal or what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day. I'll give you a good example. If you are a brand that has been in the market for a very long time, and you're planning a campaign or you want to post content about a certain topic, you have an idea in mind, or I hope you do, of what you want the audience to do at the end of the day and why that particular engagement will give you a return on investment. So what do I mean? You are in the market for a while and you want to keep people loyal to your brand. So your objective there is to drive brand loyalty. That means even when you're creating your content strategy, you need to create content that will at least push someone to that point where they choose to stay with your brand and they choose to be loyal and even, dare say, become ambassadors of your brand. So there has to be an objective from the get-go. And once you've established what your objective is, the second step is, what are the different platforms you're going to be pushing this content on, and what engagement touch points exist on those platforms. This is a heavy one, so I'm going to repeat it. You need to think about what platforms you're going to push your content on and identify the engagement touch points on that platform. The way you consider engagement on a blog or a website is very different from the way you expect it on, let's say, email or social media. Even social media platforms themselves are different. The way engagement takes place on Twitter is different from LinkedIn, is different from Instagram, is very different from TikTok or Facebook or Snapchat, and the list goes on. So once you know the content you're serving, and you know why you're going to serve it, like you have an objective, you need to really be sure that you've chosen the platform and you know the engagement touch points that exist. So what is an engagement touch point? An engagement touch point is an opportunity for the person you're talking to or connecting with to give you a signal or to engage with you, like show you that I am here, I'm present, I am paying attention, I'm interested. You remember the examples I gave in part 1? For someone to be able to give you those signals, there has to be a source or a touch point, an opportunity. And different platforms have different touch points. Email, for example, will allow you to reply to that email. So it means you have to start for me to be able to engage. So that's a touch point. While on a website, I could have a comment section or a share button, or I'll give you links to my social media pages. All those are engagement touch points. On social media platforms, you'll have the option to like a post, share, save it. You can send me a direct message. You can post it on your stories and tag me. All these are engagement touch points, and the touch point will tell you the type of engagement you should be expecting. The third thing is, once you've confirmed the engagement touch points that exist in the different platforms you will be communicating on, you need to be sure that you can measure this. So the platform or the touch point needs to be linked to some sort of analytics. There has to be a dashboard or a page where you get insights on the different engagements you've received on that platform, and it should show you where the engagement took place, so the touch point that was available. Now, why is analytics very important? It helps you see the real thing. It gives you the numbers, and this is where a lot of you are really focused on, because without numbers it's very hard to convince someone that what you're doing is working or what you're doing is right. Now, if your touch points don't have any measurement capabilities, then we're all doing guesswork. And that is why every other day you'll notice that digital marketing platforms are working on updating and improving the analytics on their dashboard. The reason they do this is because they know that if they don't have this measurement capabilities, brands will not be willing to invest their time, their effort, and their money to try and engage with the audience if they can't really measure how this content or campaign or whatever they're putting out there, if they cannot measure whether it's working or not, then they will leave your platform and they'll go to somebody else. Now, it's not enough to just be sure that you can analyze. You also need to be sure that you can understand what the numbers are saying. You might be able to do it yourself, or you can outsource. You can hire an agency or a consultant who can help you generate reports, and not just give you reports and tell you, here are the numbers, this is the engagement you got. They need to be able to explain what this engagement means for you. Because remember, when you started, you had an objective. They should be able to tell you, based on these engagement numbers or metrics, I believe that your objective has not been met for this and this reason, or your objective has been met and this is the indication, or this is what this number means. And you have to tie it back to your objective at the end of the day for you to be able to establish whether you're getting some return on investment. And in terms of analytics, it's very critical to also think about engagement from a more long-term perspective. Let's say you put up a post on Monday and it got 50 likes and maybe 2 comments, and then you put up another post on Wednesday and the post got 5 likes and 0 comments, and you automatically assume that the one on Monday did better or is more meaningful to your audience. That's very quick. You can't really jump in on that and decision, because at the end of the day, like I said in part 1, engagement differs. Maybe what you posted on Monday was light. Maybe it was a funny video or entertainment or something that I didn't really need to spend time to digest. And then maybe what you posted on the other day needs time before I can come back and engage. So at the end of the day, let's not just be quick to make decisions based on the numbers we've received. We need to think long term. And that's why it's good to analyze weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and from there you can then make a decision, because it will give you an idea that there's a pattern here, that your audience has been behaving a certain way every month, or this quarter did better than this quarter. Then you're able to really establish whether the engagement you're getting is good engagement, bad engagement, and you can establish the value on a timeline from the time you started to the time that you are assessing. Then the fourth thing and the final thing is, when you're matching your engagement metrics or the numbers to your objectives, try and be as objective, pun intended, as possible. What do I mean? A lot of times we're so in love with our brand, and we know it so well, and we assume that our audience will feel the same way. So you might be discouraged that the engagement you're getting is a signal that people don't really like this, people don't want this. But then maybe your audience, probably they're engaging offline, or maybe they feel like, I don't really have to engage on this platform. Maybe I could be buying your product on the shelves, but I'm not liking your posts. You know, how many of us follow every single brand page that we use in our households, you know? At the end of the day, you need to be sure that you understand your audience, and when you read the engagement metrics that you're receiving from them, don't be too quick to write off something. Try and even do like surveys or opinion polls. Go back to them, ask them, listen, we've noticed this and this is happening. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Hear it from them. Then you'll be able to tell the real value of the engagement you are receiving. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you enjoyed watching episode 8, share, like, comment, engage with me in any way that you feel you would like to engage.